Hi guys, this is Adel Ali Askari. I'm a project management trainer and consultant, and in this video I'm going to talk with you about the health check of your time schedule plan. Please think about a big scale project in the reality. If you are working in this project as a main contractor, most probably the time schedule plan provided by you or your teams and sending for the engineer and client is check. But if you are in the position of the engineer and client, you have not provided the time schedule plan directly and you only receive the time schedule from the other parties. Or if you are working as a main contractor, you may outsource part of your works to the subcontractor or sub-vendors, and the time schedule plan for the outsourced part will provide by the subcontractors and send for your check. Then how we can check the health of the received time schedule plan? This is a topic that we are going to understand and discuss about that in this video. Before everything, all of us know that when you receive the time schedule plan, the first thing that you have to check is the WBS or work breakdown structure of the work. Is the WBS covering all the aspects of the work and will deliver all the deliverables of our project? The second thing that we check generally in the received time schedule plan is the relationship or the network of the activities. Is the activities has the required relationship and the critical path of the project meet the contractual finish date or not? But how about the technical aspects of the time schedule plan? For example, how about the leads, lags, and etc. If you want to have a comprehensive criteria or set of criterion to check the technical aspect of the time schedule plan, the DCMA helps you to do this check. But before everything, let's understand what is the DCMA. The DCMA stands for the Defense Contract Management Agency, and this agency has developed a comprehensive approach to earned value management that known as the DCMA EVM. But to achieve the effective earned value management, the quality of the supporting information is critical and crucial. Then the DCMA developed a suite of metrics to improve the overall quality of the clients, consultants, and delivery contractors' schedule, and in order to improve the earned value management accuracy. The DCMA suggested 14 points of the assessment and criterion to check the technical quality of the schedule for the internal or external parties, and these 14 points is using in the all business in all industries all around the globe. Before everything, let's have a look on the criterion that's suggested by the DCMA. The first one is the logic, second one is leads, third one is lags, the fourth one is relationship, hard construct is the fifth one, high float or total slack is the sixth criterion, the seventh one is the negative float, continued with the high duration, invalid dates, resources, missed task and critical path test. Also, we have the critical path length index or CPLI and the baseline execution index or BEI. Let's go to each criterion one by one and explain what is the meaning and how they are calculating in the project. The first one is the metric of the logic, and the criterion is calculating based on this formula. The number of the incompleted task with missing logic or doesn't has any predecessor or successor. If the activity has not at least one predecessor or successor, we call it as the missed logic. And the number of the uncompleted tasks. These uncompleted tasks at the initial stage of the project, including and is equal whole of the activities. But if you update your schedule and go ahead, the number of the uncompleted tasks or the activities from the day-to-day till end of the project is the number of the uncompleted tasks over the number of the incompleted tasks. Then the criteria is again the number of incompleted tasks with missing logic over the number of incompleted tasks multiplied by 100. And this criterion should not be exceed 5%. Not more than 5% is allowed. The second logic or the criterion is the leads. This criterion is calculated based on this formula. The number of the leads on the incompleted task over number of relationship multiplied by 100, and we have to have no leads in our schedule. What is the leads? Generally, the negative lags called as leads. If you put the negative amount for your lag in your time schedule, we call it as the leads. And based on the criteria, we are not authorized to use any leads in our project. Because the leads is increasing the risk, and also you may have some problems in your project schedule and control. The third criteria is the lags, the number of the lags on incompleted tasks over the number of relationship multiplied by 100 percentage, and this target should not exceed more than 5%. It means you are not authorized to use lags more than 5% of your activity numbers. The next criteria is talking about the relationship. The number of the finish to start relationship on incompleted task over total number of the relationship, and the number should be 90%, or 90% of your relationship should follow the finish to start. We know that we have the other relationship rather than the finish to start. The other ones including the start to start, finish to finish, and start to finish. Then all of those three relationship type should not use in more than 10% of your relationship on your activities. The fifth metric is the hard constraint, and the calculation is based on the formula of number of incompleted tasks with hard constraint over the number of the incompleted tasks, and again should not exceed more than 5%. But what is the hard constraint? The hard constraint including the constraint of must start on, must finish on, start not later than, and finish not later than. Based on the definition, these four constraints considered as the hard constraint and should not use for more than 5% of the constraint. The next criteria is the high float. The calculation is equals the number of the incompleted task with high float over of the incompleted task and multiplied by 100. Again should not be exceed 5%. The high float means that the 44 days, if the float is more than 44 days, working days, or roughly equals 2 months calendar days, it's considered as the high float. Then the activities that has more than 44 days float over all the activities should not be more than 5% of your activity numbers. The next criteria is the negative float, and the number of the activities with the negative float over the whole number of the activities should not exceed more than 0%. It means you are not allowed to have any negative float. But what is the negative float? You can check it in the total float column, or in some software such as Microsoft Project, you may find it in the total slack column. And the negative floats show you that a constraint has not been met for any reasons. If a constraint has not been met, you will see the negative float for the unmet days in the column of the total float, and you have to check and you have to be clear about that. The negative float is a hint for the project planner that you are not going to finish the project on time, and you have to compensate the negative float in the next chain of the remaining activities. Then based on the criteria, you are not allowed to have any negative float in your schedule, and it should be set in 0%. The next criteria is talking about the high duration. Again, the high duration defined as the 44 days or 44 working days, or roughly 2 calendar months, and the number of the tasks with the high duration over all incompleted tasks should not exceed more than 5%. Relatively, and based on the duration of the activities, based on the duration of your project, you may have activities that the duration is more than 44 working days. But Anyway, based on the criteria, the number of those activities should not exceed 5%. The next criteria is talking about the invalid dates, and the invalid dates is equals the number of the incompleted tasks with invalid dates over the remaining activities or incompleted tasks, and these criteria should set again at the zero level. But what is the meaning of the invalid dates? If you have the actual start or actual finish after project status date, it means the invalid dates. Please pay attention. The status dates means the cutoff dates, the dates that you have gathered the information or update your project set as the cutoff date. And if you have any activities start after the cutoff date or the date that you gather the information, actual start or actual finish, we call it as the invalid dates. And you have to resolve all the invalid dates in your time schedule plan. The 10th criteria is talking about the resources. Maybe you don't load the resources on your project and only still working state in the first level of the planning. Generally, we have two levels of the planning. In first level of the planning, we only provide the time schedule plan without loading any resources, and in the next level or the second level of the planning, we loaded and define the resources on our project and call it as the second level of the scheduling. Both level of the scheduling is accepted, but anyway, based on the 10th criteria, you have to have no activities without any resources, and it is not allowed to have any activities without any resources. If you want to control the budget of your project, you have to define the resources for all activities, because we know that no activity completed and fulfilled in a reality without any resources, and to complete any activities you need to have at least one resource to fulfill this activity by him or her or it. The 11th resource is talking about the missed task. What is the missed task? Based on the formula, the number of the incompleted tasks with the missed baseline finish over of the all incompleted tasks should not exceed more than 5%. What is the missed task? Based on the definition, the tasks that have a baseline finish up through the status date and have either no actual finish or actual finish is later than the baseline finish. Again, the cutoff date is set, for example, here it says that if the activity has no actual finish till status there, or the actual finish is later than the baseline finish, we call it as the missed task and should not exceed more than 5%. The 12th criteria is talking about the critical path test, and it is a test. There is no number of the there is no number for this criteria, and only we will get the pass or fail in this test. The test is doing by this: add 600 days to a remaining duration of an open task on the critical path and verify that the project completion task or a slack or float is affected by the same amount. It means you have to find one of the non-completed activities in your critical path, add 600 days to its remaining duration, and check the project's finish date is affected by the same amount or not. The 13th criteria is talking about the critical path length index or CPLI, and it's equal to CPLI or critical path length plus total float over critical path length, and it should be more than 90% of or 95% or greater. And the last criteria is talking about the baseline execution index, and it is calculated based on this formula: the number of the completed tasks over the BEI baseline count, and this criteria should be more than 95%. This criteria is going to check that is the activities completed in accordance and in the best fit and match with their baseline finish date or not. If 95% of your activities finished based on and match with in the date match with their baseline finish, it means you have passed these criteria. That was about all 14 criteria, but how we can check them in the reality and in a big scale project. It is clear for all of us that we cannot calculate these 14 criteria by paper, and you have to enlist the help from software. Fortunately, in the latest update of the Primavera P6, the DCMA checkpoints added to the option of this software. Let me log into the Primavera P6 and show you how we can check the 14 criteria of DCMA. It's already mentioned and it was available in it was already available in the EPPM software, but from the 22nd version back to the Primavera P6 and available in Primavera P6 to check the health of your project based on these 14 criteria. Let me load the software. Yeah. If you approach the Tools menu, the Check Schedule report is going to check these 14 criteria, exactly these 14 criteria for your time schedule plan. And by click on the Check Schedule, you will get the result of the checking of the schedule in your browser. This is the summary of the report that show that I failed in some criteria, for example, the logic and the negative lags. The red one, generally the red one means that I failed in this criteria, and the green one means I passed those criteria. And if you want to go to the details, you can scroll down and continue the report to see the details of your schedule health check. If you find this video useful and interesting, I would request you to subscribe and share this video with your friends. Thank you very much.